Hola. Incredible greetings. How y'all doing? So I'm just doing a quick check-in. I want to thank those who, because you guys know that we are from Florida, who reached out. We're still getting messages and things of that nature from some of my followers. So I just wanted to check in with you guys so that you can see my face and know that all is well here. We were never really in like major danger of like catastrophic danger because of where we are. Now, there were actually, we could have gotten a tornado or two because there were some places in Broward, like literally, like not going way up to Central Florida, up the street in our backyard, basically, in Broward and Western Broward that were affected by tornadoes that spawned up due to the storm. But we, didn't have any of that. There are some people here, I guess, that are without power because obviously they're in an area like me where sometimes if you get a strong piece of wind, the power goes out. But probably it's not due to like any down lines. It's probably just like a transformer blew or something like that due to the wind. But we are A-okay here. We stay prepared. So now I just get to, I'll probably hold off on certain things like eating them until we see if more storms brew up. But, it's a lot of snacks and things that, we stocked up on just in case we have, we did lose power due to wind because we're in an area where our transformer, it's a tree right there and we'll lose power. But outside of that, we were, there's no flooding. There was no real rain here or anything like that. Grateful for that. We haven't gotten hit by a major storm here in like my area in a while. So just wanted to check in and show my face because I went to my inbox and we still had some messages. And so rather than kind of like do each individual one, and there are also some people that tag me and post, just wanted to show my face. We're all good here because if you don't know, I'm located in basically Miami Gardens. So that's near the bottom. Like Homestead is and Keys is the bottom. But we were like definitely outside of that cone because it was hitting more so Central Florida. I know in where my sister-in-law lives in Fort Pierce and like Port St. Lucie and all of that type, all those areas, they got hit by a really big tornado to where it like collapsed the structure that the police cars basically sit under. So it got close, but not that close. And then there were some homes and things that were destroyed in Western Broward. But other than that, yeah, here in South Florida, we were actually one of the places they were telling people to evacuate to. I don't know why everyone kept wanting to go up north. Don't know that because it was definitely less traffic coming south. Some people did come this way, but we are A-okay here, business as usual. All classes have been able to take place this week. We had a great session this morning. We have another session this evening. So all is well. So I was just checking in with you guys. Now, if you are someone that is in the area where it was hit hardest or you have no power, check in with us. Let us know, especially, those tornado areas. I haven't really listened to like, any, death tolls or anything like that from like flooding. A lot of the flooding that they said that could happen from like the storm surge because the storm did drop. It wasn't as high of storm surge. There was definitely a lot of flooding. People are going to lose a lot of things within their home, losing cars and stuff like that. But it wasn't top of the roof type storm surge that I saw as of yet, even from like any of the news. But I know a lot of people have like downed lines, down trees. I saw someone where one of their pine trees fell into their home. So of course now their structure is compromised. Definitely check in with us if you're a part of our community. Let us know how you are doing, and things like that. But as far as us here from HS Inc., where we are A-okay. Continue to pray for those who are in the areas that were hit by the storm, the rain, the rain dropping from the storm, like just pounding them, that wind, and those who were affected by the tornado. Some people have lost everything. due to the tornadoes more so than, even the actual like storm itself. So definitely keep them in your prayers. Hello from, and also, I mean, even everyone who's still dealing with the effects of Helen or Helene. So incredible afternoon. Yep, that's what this update was for. Thanks for checking in. Hey Jamila. Yep, we're good here. Not like literally, we felt nothing here. Nothing. We got like one or two scattered, and I definitely mean scattered feeder bands, and that was it. It was some wind, of course, but that's it. Hey, just say yes, we are good. We are good. Prayers for those who are affected by the storm. Yeah, like those, I think that those tornadoes is what caught a lot of people off guard, because even if you were not in an evacuation area, that's the part that, they don't talk about the tornadoes a lot of times until they're about to occur. But with a hurricane, there's always, like, especially like on the outskirts, where tornadoes can spawn up from, the effects of the storm. And they normally don't really talk about those as much until, the storm is like right on top of you and things of that nature. But tornadoes are always, a possibility whenever there's any type of storm, because we get tornado watches and tornado warnings even when we just have regular thunderstorms here, like bad, we have bad circulations of like weather, we get those. But some of them were really, really, really wide. I mean, wide. And they took out a lot of stuff. I mean, it was tossing cars around. So where you're thinking, okay, I'm not in the flood zone, I'm not for, the heavy, like that tornado winds can be worse than hurricane winds sometimes, because it's like it'll just spin and just pick it up versus just blowing stuff away. And that some of that destruction was hard to kind of see in some of those pictures. So but I just wanted to show my face, and let y'all know all is well. All right. So unless you guys have something for me, we will bid you adieu. Yeah, that one was pretty interesting too. Like, it picked up that tractor trailer and just threw that thing like a rag doll. And that's it. Like, hurricanes you can prepare for. Tornadoes you can't. Like, once they come down, if you were already driving and they happen to come down in front of you, there's not much that you can really do to like really brace yourself. And it picked that tractor trailer up and just threw that thing around like a rag doll, and it ended up blocking the highway. So those are like, that's the part that's like the uncertainty parts, is not knowing when and where a tornado is going to touch down. Hello, Alexis. How art thou? Thank you, Hans. Yeah, all you can do is just try and take cover and pray during our like, it was one that we were watching it, and it, like, there was more of a mobile home, and it picked it up. It's like they felt their house raise at least probably 10 feet off of the foundation, and luckily just got dropped back in that same spot. But could you imagine, like, what's the thing, Wizard of Art, like if someone's house was really picked up completely and like spent around to where you ended up landing somewhere totally different. But luckily their house just kind of picked up and it shifted off of the foundation. But tornadoes it's really, really, those things are so unpredictable, and it will literally pick things up. Some of the trees that will survive like the storm, but they did not survive tornadoes because it like spins and literally uprooted a lot of those trees. So tornadoes are crazy. I'm more fearful of tornadoes than I am hurricanes. But now I get to be big back, and eat all of my snacks. I actually already ripped into, I love pepperoni. I already ripped into my box of pepperoni and was eating pepperoni. let's see what else. What else do I have specifically for me? I've been ate my candy corn and like all those snacks, but yeah. So I get to now dibble and dabble into the snacks. We still leave the canned goods and all that stuff just in case another storm comes up, and we still leave all of our hurricanes until we stay hurricane ready until November 30th. Okay. All things are on deck, ready to go at easy reach. We're not looking for anything. Um, Now I know like um with all the gas and stuff we have for like generators and things like that, even can just put it in his car because he uses that grade. Mine is mid grade, so I can't put that. Well, if I absolutely needed to, I would put it in my car. But like all the gas and stuff that we have for like generators and stuff like that, it'll just now be used in Evan's car for him to get to work the next couple of days. So yes, and I mentioned this last time, even with like the last storm. A lot of prayers, like people say, prayer does work to where this storm went from a smaller storm, then it shot up to a 5, it went down, it went back up to a 5. I believe they say like as far as like wind gusts, it hit at basically the winds that's categorized as a 2. I don't believe it hit at a 3, but even with that, that reduced some of the storm surges because it's not as much wind pushing that ocean water into the coastline. So the fact that it did drop some, but if you don't know the the higher the number, it's more about like the wind and in the eye, that pressure along the eye wall. When you're in the eye, it is so calm. There is literally nothing going on. But then once that eye wall comes around, the pressure in that eye wall is absolutely ridiculous until that wall passes you. But the lower the storm, like the wind, because even if it's like a lot of rain, when there's a lot of wind with it, it's like you don't really feel the rain just coming down because the wind is really like with it and pushing it. But those lower numbers where it's all water and it just dumps, that those like for inland are worse for flooding. Coastlines, the higher the storm, like the higher the winds, the higher the number in the storm, it's all of the storm surge that becomes the issue. So either way it goes, it's always like kind of sort of like bad. But the fact that it did drop to where it wasn't, these homes where they might have some damage, surface level coming up, a little bit, but not where it's like all the way to the roof and you're losing like for real, losing like everything or whatever. So I always say, like, we prayed for the storm to kind of calm down. Now it'll be to a point where you're praying for just their sanity through this all, like to go back to their homes and realize, like, see how much they've lost. Some people, they lose hope and the ability to rebuild. FEMA and all those different places, they help, but it takes time for that help to come. Fighting with insurance companies. I mean, there's places where, like, from storms years ago, like they still haven't been able to like fully like rebuild and get everything like back. You have people from like when it came to Katrina where they literally had to leave and just never return to certain areas. So always pray for, like, now in your prayers, if you're a type of person that's like very specific about how you pray, just their mental right now, because it can be very devastating to go back and just realize like your home is gone. Aid comes, but not like that to where, they'll put you up in a hotel for a little bit, but then what do you do, after that? Some of the places for shelter, the roof at Tropical Park came off. So like where they had all the carts ready to shelter people, if it rains, like that water's going to come down because the whole roof went off. So things like that were, unexpected. But just pray for people's mental that they get through, because there are, there's been cases and there's been actual confirmed reports of people who just could not handle life after a storm, feeling like they just couldn't take care of their family there. They just couldn't get back on their feet and they took their lives. So pray for people's mental after this, after a storm, and just trying to figure out how to deal with the devastation. It causes a lot of strife in families because people are just stressed. So, if you're a type of person that prays for specific things, just pray for their mental fortitude and just to be strong to get through this. Because we know money's a big thing, and the economy is already bad. So we're just trying to live in this economy and then build, because people still expect you to pay. When you own a home, there's still things that you still have to pay for, even though that your house is destroyed. They still expect you to pay taxes, things like that, to be able to keep your land to even rebuild on. So, and that can be hard for some people. So just pray. Our government and certain law officials who pray, and for them, and just that they make sound decisions for our country and not do things out of spite, like not approve funds, that they're worried about money being allocated in places that don't serve us. That was a big one, for certain funds by certain representatives and certain parties. I'm not going to get into political, to not approve certain things. And when people say FEMA's running out of money, but the budget wasn't approved for them, to give them money. So just pray for the elected officials, and that they, no matter what side of the aisle they fall on, that they are doing what's best for the American people, especially in times like this. I must say, being from Florida, I was highly disappointed in the fact that our governor would not take a call from the White House. So yeah, that's kind of bull crap. So yeah, we are fine. Hey, cousin, we were not in the direct path of the storm. So that's what I kind of came on for, because a lot of people were contacting me via inbox, or just tagging me in posts and just saying, hey, check in. So I'm like, rather than keep responding to everyone, it's better for me just to kind of come on and just do it this way. We were not in the direct path of the things that you guys see in the media. When they talk about the storm and storm surges, we were never going to be affected by that part of the storm. There was always a possibility that we could have a tornado spawn up, because we did have some, in Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie area. We had, I think it's 2 in the Broward area. So that was always a chance of having tornadoes, which can be just as destructive as a hurricane. But luckily, we were not affected by any of those effects of the storm. So I just wanted to come on just so y'all can see my face and let this serve as the post that, hey, we're good. And I just thank you. Man, for so many people to reach out, just knowing that we are in Florida, and reach out, whether it was an inbox, an email, or tagging me in a post, commenting in the group to say, hey, Professor, check in. Just want to make sure you and your family are good. That just did something for my soul, that you guys thought about us. And we even got called. I got messages from people who are in the heart of the areas that were hit and still checking on us. So that was amazing. That, I just love it. So thank you guys so much for just even checking on our family. Okay. All right. So I just want to come in, check in, and that was it. I shall talk to you guys later. Until next time. Have a great one. Oh, if you are in an area that's not when you see things come up, and you have anything to donate, whether it be clothes, food, monetary, people always think, oh, I don't have anything to give, because they're thinking larger numbers. If 1,000 people gave $1, that's still $1,000 that, even if that was to one family or whatever. When they say every little bit counts, when you have a mass amount of people, even if it was just $1, a few dollars, whatever it is that you have to spare, trust me, it definitely helps. Even if it's to go to some of these drives, and when they're taking aid, and you were to purchase a case of water, purchase some canned goods, purchase a pack of diapers, formula, any of those. Yes, we're not looking, or people aren't looking to help people replace their computers and TVs and vanity type things, but all of those, all of that aid definitely helps. Even for clothes, people don't get real picky. They're in good condition. Clothes is normally the first thing that people kind of donate, and eventually they'll say, hey, we don't need any more clothes, like we don't have anywhere to store this, and like trying to distribute that. Because especially if you're not, if you're going to give clothes, one of the things that I will suggest is separate them and label them. So don't just kind of give one big bag, sacrifice a couple of your garbage bags and label them that this is either boy, girl, or unisex, but it's like maybe a certain size. And that makes it easier for distribution. If it's, clothes within, for young adults, teenagers, if it's for women and like adult, if you separate them like that, it can make it easier for them to distribute them. But when people are just donating clothes, now you have to use resources for somebody that could be doing something else to sort through these and figure out, okay, who needs like what's this size clothes, and separate them and figure out who they can go to. So if you're able to take your donated items as far as clothes and label them, it makes the process so much easier. Children, always appreciate if they lost toys. Like, kids don't really understand all of this. All they know is they lost their favorite doll, they lost their favorite truck, and things like that. And it hits them hardest because they just don't understand. So if your kids have a lot of things that are gently used, and at one point they loved it, it's probably going to be another kid that loves it. So anything that you can donate. We tend to not throw away a lot of stuff because we know that people get hit with like devastating things like this. So we end up having a lot of stuff that my husband considers to be hoarding, but we could easily donate that to somebody that was like affected by it. So maybe not throw everything out in the landfills. There are times like this, and this happens every year. If you don't know, hurricane season is actually 6 months. There may not be storms the entire 6 months. I remember in 92, Andrew. So they're named, and we got the first named storm hit South Florida, like the Homestead area. But hurricane season goes from June 1st until November 30th. Normally when we get like really, really big storms, it's rare that you'll have like a lot of them back to back to back. Hopefully we don't have another one like that. But this is the peak season. This is when a lot of them will happen. But hurricane season does not end until November 1st. So we're dealing with this until December. We're just at the beginning of October. So we still have pretty much almost like a full 2 months of uncertainty when it comes to storms. So although we may have been scathed this time, if them waters still churn up, we still have a month and some change where storms can build up. 6 months, half of the year, we are technically in hurricane season, and some people don't realize that. Because it just may seem like they're kind of like spread out, but we're worried 6 months out of the year. So yeah, toys donation, because kids just don't understand. They just know that they just lost I know it might not be, donating a PS5 or, gaming system, but for like little kids, those little small toys, they definitely make a big difference. Same thing. Try to label them to make it easier for the workers and the volunteers that are like distributing these things. And any little bit helps, any little bit. If it's, you sacrificing going to go get your frappes for the week and just taking that money and donating it to certain organizations. A lot of the times, I'll be honest with you. I saw someone put something up and they were like, was it Salvation Army or Goodwill or something like that? And it was like, oh yeah, all of those donations and stuff. Now it's time. If y'all don't know, Goodwill is not about giving away items. They take donations to make money off of it. Now, they will be involved in certain things to where they can write a check for bigger things and I kind of help people and aid people. But the items that you donate to Goodwill and Salvation Army, that is not to give away to people. If you did not know that, that is for them to go and resell. Okay. But there's a lot of churches where they will get together and they will take donations and they go on mission trips and they drive to the areas and make sure that they're distributing it. I remember once when it was like the city of Miami Gardens where they did they were collecting stuff and they coordinated to take aid directly to places. So a lot of, when it's organizations, not like the Goodwills and all of those, um, they'll help like in times of like with storms, and there are certain things that they can do from the money that they made from selling the items that you donated. But a lot of those donated items, unless it's like they're collecting items specifically for aid, but when you just go and take them to Goodwill and all that, that's not always for them just to kind of give out. People got to pay for it. But check with, your church, see if your church is coordinating something. If not, maybe get with your church and say, hey, can we, bring, have some people, set up a little station, people bring in some canned goods, some food, some snacks. Canned goods are great, but children like snacks. Okay. Children like snacks. A lot of times it's the healthy stuff, but kids like snacks. So, donate some snacks as well, because children like that. They like candy. Just because they went through devastation don't mean that now they have to become vegans and eat all healthy. Children they still like junk food. So think about the kids when you guys are donating items as well. Okay. Certain shelters, yes, but a lot of shelters don't allow like donations to just come to their door. Like they really, really don't. Because you have some people who are still evil, and they know that there is a large amount of people like in certain areas. So with shelters, a lot of times it is going through other organizations, and they are authorized to bring donations. So be mindful of that. Like just check with them, because not every shelter allows you just to drop off donations. They normally get their donations through organizations. I keep saying I'm going to do it because people ask about it. You know what? So let get off. We don't have any. I can always do the. I was going to do them pre-order because some people have the EcoTank printers that we didn't really need them. And then when we had them, people with the 7820, 7840, and 7310, because we had them on them, we said workforce, they were buying them thinking that they can use them, even though we clearly stated that you cannot use a chip resetter. And then they were upset with us when they could not get a refund. And it just became a headache. But we can do it. But I'm like, I got to make sure that people understand it's for this printer only. If you have the newer workforces, a chip resetter will not work for you. So I'm not sure which printer you have. If you have the old school printers and, like workforce printers, I know for sure they work for them. There are some Epson printers that use cartridges, but your chips, if your chip is a single use, you still cannot reset it. Like there's a lot to that. And when the workforce 7720s and things like that, they were not the go-to printers anymore. It made it a lot difficult to have chip resetters on the website, because now we have people asking us questions. Well, will it work for this printer? Will it work for that printer? Will it work for this? And we can't answer that. I've never tested on every single printer. I don't know which cartridges you have. Did you purchase a single-use chip cartridge from someone, or is it an auto reset? I can't answer all of those. We were selling them for our, we know to go with our cartridges and our chips, and we knew that they were reset, and we knew that they will work. So I was trying to set it up so that a questionnaire or whatever, so that somebody did not order the wrong one, because baby, we are not refunding it, not accepting it back, and making sure that y'all sign certain things so that you can't try and do a chargeback, because people trying to be slick and do a chargeback, and then I send it to the people. Hey, they knew this, they signed this before they purchased it. Release my funds back to me. So that's why it's not on there, and I've been hesitant because it's a lot. It's a big liability for us, or just a big risk in selling it, since that's not the primary printer that's available, and people don't want to listen. Like I've done so many videos about printers and all these things. I might come right back after this and talk about printers again, because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I talked about printers. So I might come right back and talk about printers. But if you have the newer workforce, our chip resetters will do nothing for you. Okay. Okay, perfect. If you have that one, then you would, qualify for the, like we said, we're looking to do a pre-order for them. We don't want to order a bunch of them and then they just sit and sell, because most people don't have those printers. Do you sell car, for 74? I'm not sure what you're saying with that one. If you got general questions, come right back. I just wanted to do the check-in, but I for you guys over here, you can stay. I will answer your questions and don't move because it's no playbacks for this. But for everybody else that's over here, just look for me, right? Like I'm literally going to come right back. Come with these same questions, come with the same energy, and I will answer all the questions that you guys have. But I just wanted this one to be a short video as just a check-in for you guys to see my face and know that we are A-okay because we were not in the path of the storm. We are located in South Florida, in Florida, but we were in South Florida and did not take a direct hit. And we also were not affected by any tornadoes. Okay. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. I will be like, literally, I'm going to go on, create it to come right back. Okay. Check YouTube, check Facebook for the broadcast I'm going to do right now. Come back for the My Cloud, okay? Come back for the My Cloud.